This is the 60-second sales strategy course for advanced share and text. Over the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you how to get your face on the home screen of your prospect's phone and how to turn your SavvyCard into a valuable resource your prospects and customers will use regularly, both leading into and throughout the buying and selling process. If I were to ask you what's the most valuable real estate in the world today, what would you think? New York, Beverly Hills, London? Well, I'll give you a hint. The average consumer visits it 47 times a day. That's right, it's the home screen of your customer's smartphone. If you can buy a little lot somewhere in that gated community, your customer will see your face more than 17,000 times a year. Now, that's what I call staying top of mind. And it's not enough to just get an icon or logo on the home screen. You want to put your face there. People are nearly 50% more likely to take action when they're presented with a picture of your face as opposed to a logo for your company. Faces create an emotional connection, and most people take action based on their emotions. I'm going to share a quick story with you. Tom was down at his local watering hole and he met a guy named Justin. Unfortunately, Justin and his wife were getting divorced, and not only was he distraught about the relationship ending, but they needed to sell the house as part of the divorce, and he had to find a new place to live. Tom listened to everything Justin was saying, and when he was done sharing, Tom tried to put Justin at ease. He said he wasn't able to help with the divorce, but that Justin shouldn't worry about selling or buying a house. He said, "I have something that might be useful for you as a start when you begin thinking about getting your house ready to sell or finding your new place. Let me text you my SavvyCard. You can search for new places, find out what your house is worth, get links to painters or contractors if anything needs to get fixed, or you could just get in touch with me." Tom couldn't fix the situation, but he was able to be a resource for Justin at a really tough time in his life. So Tom texted his SavvyCard and showed Justin how it worked and helped him get his icon on his home screen. When he left the bar that night, Tom had built a relationship by being there for someone in a rough situation, and it provided something of ongoing value. So whenever Justin turned on his phone, he'd see Tom's face and remember all the things he could use the tool for. Justin ended up working with Tom for both the sale of his house and for buying his new place. So why did this work? To provide value, you have to get the prospect talking and you have to listen. You have to be prepared with valuable stuff, and you have to put your face on their home screen by sharing your SavvyCard. I'm sure you're wondering, well, how do I get my face on their home screen? You give your customer something of lasting value. Explain that your SavvyCard is an interactive business card they can use throughout the buying and selling process, whether that's searching for a new home, getting a home valuation tool, recommended vendors, or just to get in touch with you. So let's walk through each step. Ultimately, this process works no matter how you choose to provide value, but the most important step is to understand what their actual challenge is. We were given 2 ears and 1 mouth so we can listen twice as much as we speak. Once you understand the challenges, you need to be prepared with valuable resources. Value is different for everyone. A buyer may want a property search platform where their contact information isn't being sold. Well, SavvyCard is a good solution. Or a first-time homebuyer guide, or suggestions for a mortgage, title, or insurance company. Again, SavvyCard's a great solution for this. Sellers may need a home valuation tool, what's my home worth? Or they may need contractors or electricians to prep their property before putting it on the market. Ultimately, having these resource links in your SavvyCard will give you the opportunity to provide value in any situation. Depending on the situation, and assuming you have the resources available through your SavvyCard, there's a simple phrase everyone wants to hear. I can help you with that. Being able to show a prospect on the spot that you have these resources available can make the difference between converting them into a client and them staying a passive prospect. Your goal is to supercharge your SavvyCard with valuable information to suit a wide variety of needs. CMA tools, tips for buyers, market reports, testimonials, seller checklists. And you want to recommend vendors and service providers like mortgage and title companies, electricians, contractors, plumbers, painters, designers, landscapers, honestly, anything and everything a potential buyer or seller could need. I guarantee you all know at least 1 or 2 people you'd recommend in each of these categories. and all you have to do is add them to your SavvyCard. By doing that, in one transaction of sharing your card, you're impressing the prospect with technology, providing valuable content, promoting your local partners, and capturing the prospect's information at the same time. I like to call these win-win-win scenarios. So how do we get this in place? First, let's get you logged in. This is best done from a computer because you'll need to copy and paste the website addresses for each of the resources you plan to make available. Simply log into your SavvyCard dashboard at SavvyCard.com. Now that you're logged in, it's easy to add the resources. Select Edit this card, and then click on the Buttons tab. On the right-hand side, you'll see a selection of buttons that you can turn on or off. Those that are green are currently on and visible on your card. Those that are red are currently switched off and not visible on your card. Your My Sites button is where we're going to layer tools and tips for customers. Let's get your juices flowing and think about the tools you have today that you can add to your card. I bet you all have access to a CMA or home valuation tool. This is a really valuable resource, just as valuable to a homeowner as access to a property search is for a buyer. Everyone who owns a property is interested in its current value. Other tools could be a seller's checklist or easy steps that make selling your home faster and easier, maximizing your curb appeal, 5 things all buyers should be aware of. Testimonials. Maybe you have a really solid ranking with Google or Facebook. Link that to your card and put your SavvyCard to work for you. These links can include video, text, graphics, whatever you'd like. If you don't already have this content, search the internet for something similar to what you'd like to provide and create blogs on your website or your LinkedIn account or anywhere that you'll have a distinct web address that you can link to. I like using LinkedIn because it's great social exposure beyond the value it creates for my SavvyCard. However, most agents usually add these resources to their own website to keep everything in one place. To get the resource in place on your SavvyCard, open up another window or tab and visit the web page of the resource. In this case, it's a consumer-facing home valuation tool. All you have to do is copy the link in the URL bar. Now go back to the SavvyCard dashboard and paste the resource link in the field called URL. When you copy the URL, it will nearly always bring the HTTP or HTTPS along with it. There should only be one of these in the web address, so basically just make sure that the HTTP isn't there twice at the beginning of the URL, just once. Once you've added the link, give it a title, something that will be simple for the prospect or customer to know what it is, like what's my home worth, as opposed to home valuation, something that they can quickly and easily understand the value of. Once you've added that content, we just need to select Yes, Show This button on my card and press Save. Add as many resources as you'd like to share simply by selecting Add Another and repeating the same process. I'd suggest limiting it to 10 or 12 different resources just so a prospect doesn't have to scroll through too many options to find a resource you may have mentioned to them when sharing your card. Now, let's add your trusted service providers. Agents can be the go-to person for both buyers and sellers for months before a transaction actually takes place and months afterwards. Maybe your seller needs to prep their property for going on the market, or a buyer needs to coordinate inspectors or mortgage and title services. This can lead to constant calls and texts asking who's the right guy for this or what's the best company for that. How do you send that list today? Email, text, send them to your website? If you're anything like the majority of agents, your recommended affiliates probably change regularly. The plumber or landscaper you're working with today might not be the one you were working with 6 months ago. Ultimately, relationships change. So as a best practice, use your SavvyCard service providers as your go-to up-to-date resource for your clients. This will help reinforce the value of your SavvyCard with your prospects and customers. Similar to the resource links we just talked about, the process to layer your card with websites of your recommended service providers is very easy. You click on the Recommend button, open the website of the service provider you'd like to recommend, copy the link, paste the link into the URL field. Again, make sure there's only one HTTP in the link. This is exactly the same resource tool, except you also provide a name and category for the service provider. The name could just be the person's name or a company name, and the category should be easy to understand, like air conditioning, landscaping, electric, plumbing, mortgage. I think you get the idea. Don't forget to select Yes, show this button on my card, and press Save. You can add as many as you like by simply adding Add Another and follow the same steps we just discussed. Once you're done, your SavvyCard is supercharged with valuable resources that you can feel confident in sharing no matter the situation, giving you the opportunity to offer your SavvyCard to a prospect and, more importantly, a reason to get them to add it to their home screen. Practice isn't the thing you do once you're good. It's the thing you do that makes you good. So practice with your family and friends. Share your SavvyCard, help them add it to their home screen, and then show them how to access your resources and recommended service providers. For a refresher on how to add your SavvyCard to someone's home screen, make sure to watch the orientation or share and text video. So that wraps up our advanced share and text course. As you can see, SavvyCard focuses on helping you bring both immediate and ongoing value to your prospects, making your SavvyCard a tool they'll use leading into and throughout the buying and selling process, often afterwards as well, putting you in a position to be their go-to resource. And with your face on their home screen, you will continue to stay top of mind even after the transaction so they can easily refer you. Make sure to watch the Referral Team 60-Second Sales Strategy course to learn how SavvyCard empowers your referral process by making it easy for people to share your contact information, knowing when it happens, and getting the contact information so you can be proactive in your follow-ups. If you have any questions about SavvyCard or this advanced share and text course, please feel free to reach out to our live support desk by emailing support@savvycard.com or calling 727-502-6012. And last but not least, I'm hoping you can take a minute or two out of your day to let us know if this video is helpful for you. Please text SURVEY to 72889. You'll get a link to a Google form with a couple questions about today's presentation and some information on some of our additional products. By completing the survey, we'll be able to send you additional resources including how-to guides, best practices, and other great video content. Thank you again for taking the time to learn about SavvyCard and how it can help grow your business.